Good Up is our space to talk about those experiences in life we didn't know we all had in common. We're the after work happy hour conversation with your best friend.
You good up bad, like, hello.
The place where you bring up the hard parts of life, the ones that made you laugh, and the things that made you who you are. Because who said becoming good up wasn't a little bit uncomfortable? Stay tuned for more information about this week's episode. Unique.
That's what you are. Lingerie reflecting off the mirror on the bar. Category. Sexy bitch.
I feel like after the last month, that's how I had to start season 8 was unique.
Yeah. I'm certain that my coworkers think I'm crazy because toward the end of the night, once we close and like the doors are locked, I don't have my AirPods on. I don't be walking around the store. Yada.
Absolutely, yes. So, welcome back to the Good Up audience. I love how both I was like,
Good up.
it is season 8.
Y'all.
It is season 8, bitches. Welcome back. It's so good to be back. We had a good break.
So good.
We are relaxed. We are at our semi-best. I ain't gonna say I'm at my best.
That's authentic. That's authentic.
I trying to get her. Diamond says she at her best.
Hey, if you know, you know.
But welcome back to the Good Up people, them to your favorite podcast, your father favorite podcast, your mother favorite podcast, your best friend probably to listen to this podcast. Your man, they'll probably listen to this podcast too. And if that's your man, then why he over here? Okay?
Hey, that's your supernatural love up in the air. Your judgmental aunties listen to this podcast.
Yeah. And I know they do because they don't send me inboxes about our episodes. So, welcome back. It's Deidre. It's good to see you. Diamond.
You know who else listens to this?
Ooh.
Beyonce's secret lesbian lover. Because you can't tell me that bitch ain't fucking a woman on the side. Sorry, because that album. I don't give. She outed herself with this album. Okay.
Listen, the way we're gonna get fucking drag up for this episode. Anyway. It's Deidre Diamond. It's good to see you. Welcome back. Y'all know straight out the gate this is about to be a wild fucking episode because we got twins in the house. And these two, I gotta just sit back and let this fuck happen. Like at this point.
Immediately, no, you have to stop it. You cannot because we will be on here for like 7 hours and not even realize it.
Listen.
Diamond, this gonna feel like a FaceTime call between me and Shia. We'll be on the phone too long.
I have my life together today. I'm actually sitting in a chair. Okay.
Diamond,
I have my life together for this episode.
Diamond getting clothes. She don't have on a robe. There's a do-rag happening, but I love it.
It's like a velvet number, so it's still
very
like
velvety.
It's very luxurious.
Muy
luxurious. We got things to do. So hey, Isa, please lead us right into the business because you know the vibes.
Right. Okay, so with that being said, a lot happened over the summer. Okay, shit went down over the summer. Okay, the queen died yesterday. 2 days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know when a woman did. So much happened,
It's been a summer, honey.
But the most important thing that happened over the summer is that our lives were
changed. Queen is back.
We were scalped. We have been put in our fucking place. Beyonce
you could say you were scalped.
Beyonce saw that we were sitting down, not doing nothing, twiddling our fucking fingers and wasn't focused. And she was like, Pay attention.
I already know the vibes. I already am in line. You could say you were scalped. I was not. I already handed over my edges. I don't even bother getting scalped anymore. Sometimes I just feel, y'all know I'm psychic and shit. So I be feeling a little tingly, right? I be knowing Beyonce coming and I just say, okay, here you go. Like, I don't even bother getting scalped no more. I just embrace the boldness.
Here's the thing though. I was like, okay. I know she coming. She's been talking about the fact that she coming for a long time. And no matter how much you to prepare, it's kind of like having sex for the first time after a long time. You know how sex feels. You know that shit gonna rock your wall. But then this big dick motherfucker to walk in the room, blow your back out, and you don't be laying on the bed like, wow.
I didn't come for. I mean, I came for this, but I didn't.
Exactly. I knew this was coming. Right, especially with somebody you've had sex before. I knew this was coming. I knew you were going to destroy my soul. But now I had to walk typing in the same letter over and over and me move from the page yet. That's what Beyonce did to me this summer. I knew and here's the thing. I think I was more anxious about how she was going to fuck up my wall versus the fact that I knew she was going to fuck up my wall.
Yeah, that's fair.
I knew it was coming. But something was like, this is the woman who gave me Lemonade, The Gift, and Homecoming in the past 5 years. And she has to surpass herself.
And will.
I think the thing that I just love is that Beyonce continues to prove to the world that she can only get better. Beyonce will never be overrated. You know, I saw some bitch on TikTok make some video comparing Beyonce to Rihanna and how Beyonce gonna always have to do concerts and some dumb shit. Something about marketability. And
the reason I don't even get into those conversations is because at this point in Beyonce's career, why the fuck are we talking about anybody else?
Why are we talking about...
Leave Rihanna out of the conversation because I'm Navy. I love her. Like, that's my girl, right?
I love Rihanna too. And that's why I'm so annoyed that people make these comparisons.
Exactly. At this point in Beyonce's career, at this point in the level of artistry she's given us, why the fuck are we talking about anybody else? Why?
Y'all are not gonna disrespect Blue Ivy because that is Beyonce's competition. Blue Ivy is coming for Beyonce's neck. Beyonce better watch her back because Blue Ivy is the real queen of all this shit. Y'all
imagine being the baddest. Imagine being the baddest bitch alive, right? And then you birth the person who's obviously replacing
Blue
you.
Ivy
That's a lot of pressure.
Coming for her fucking throne. Stop playing with Blue.
Deidre, what I thought you were gonna say is imagine being the baddest bitch alive and your mother is Beyonce.
No, like imagine being the mother of the baddest bitch alive because Blue Ivy is the baddest to ever
exactly.
do it.
Just you know, we gonna try, y'all. So if you're listening to this episode, you know that you have 3 very clear, very public, very staunch and unapologetic Beehive members on the episode today.
So if this is not for you, you can click out.
You can click out. But also, one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna rant about Beyonce because we have material for days. But this episode specifically is celebrating Renaissance. It's talking about Renaissance as an album and our experience with it. It dropped more than a month ago, and I'm still in a chokehold. I cannot stop listening to this fuck. So the first question I want to ask the group is, what was your initial reaction upon first listen? What was that experience like for you when she dropped that fuck? Because I know what mine was. But I'm gonna let them go first.
Go ahead, Damon.
I'll never forget. I was laying in my bed.
Same.
Texted the group chat and was like, "Oh my God, Alien Superstar is that girl." And I was like, I remember DJ being like, "I'm not even listening right now. I'm not doing this with Beyonce." Listen. And when I'm That Girl started, I paused and I said, "Beyonce, bitch, hold on. Give me till tomorrow." Because I was like, I'm not about to stay up all night with you playing in my face. Because when I heard her pop, y'all know I love popping shit music. I love when women sing about being badasses, right? So for her to start her album like that, I was like, pause, I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow. And the next day when I woke up to get ready for work and I was washing my ass and I had that music playing, I was screaming. I'm surprised I didn't get a noise complaint. It was so much happening inside of my body, so much joy. I was having a party while getting ready for work and being like, Beyonce, how dare you? How dare you? That was my initial listening experience.
So
yeah, go ahead. Since you were too busy the first night when everybody
it wasn't okay. So here's the thing: it wasn't that I was too busy, right? But the day of the album, I had already come home from work. I'd already taken my shower, laying in the bed, and I said, Deidre. So I did hit play, and then I said, this album is overstimulating. I have to wait. I had to wait. I said, I'm going to be overstimulated. I cannot do this with Beyonce tonight. She's not going to.
Same. I literally had to wait till the next day.
I went to bed and Hey Eyes on Diamond, y'all know we have the group chat. So I told the story of the moment that I was literally dyeing my weave, sitting on the bedroom floor, dyeing my weave, right? First of all, can we talk about the fact that the album is one song continuously? It's very trippy.
When she recorded this, I know she said to all the people contributing, all the people who were mixing and twisting the sounds, I want this fuck to sound like a party.
Not
the
even
highs
just
and lows
that.
of a party.
When Beyonce was planning this album, Beyonce said, and this I noticed, right? And nobody gonna argue with me. Beyonce walked into that room and said, I want this album to feel like you got in your 1970s best. You snort a line of cocaine. You went to Studio 54 and you didn't fucking leave until the cocaine wear off, which was like 18 hours later. I want the album to feel like that. And everybody was like, bet, we get you.
Yep.
And they
because
did
that's
exactly
literally what it
that.
gives. I have never tried cocaine in my life, but I'm pretty sure.
That album,
what it feels like listening to Renaissance.
No, that album really made me say, maybe I could do one line of coke in my life. Like
Listen.
But listening to that album, I said, Deidre, if you go to a party and the opportunity presents itself,
like, maybe
one line
I
of
could
coke
take
is
ecstasy.
not gonna kill you.
I experienced the closest I've ever come to cocaine was me and my best friend being in a party in San Diego, and these two friends, they were a boy and a girl best friend, and they were asking everybody in the party, do you know where we can get some coke? And me and my best friend were like, why are they so thirsty for this cocaine? Listening to Renaissance, I now know why.
Yeah, because
if that is what cocaine feels like in your body, I could see why the
girls become coke addicted.
Listen, they were so thirsty for that cocaine, they were willing to ask the police.
Listen.
Okay, cool. And that's how I feel about Renaissance.
Let me just say.
You got some Renaissance? You got some Renaissance? Can I have some?
You got some Renaissance?
How much? Can I have some Renaissance?
Let me just say that I am very proud of how on point I was with the Beyonce releases this summer, because of everybody in the group chat, the person who happy not fucking were like, Beyonce delete her profile pictures. Beyonce delete, like I was going off an Ayo for like a month straight, like everything. Beyonce coming, like she is coming. She actually strayed from her usual, what has become her usual, and she dropped a lead single for us with no visuals, just drop Break My Soul.
She really back in time. She really took us back in time.
So what was the reaction to Break My Soul? Because I gonna be honest, when Break My Soul come out on first listen, I was like, Beyonce, I don't know. I didn't like Break My Soul.
Same. I remember when Break My Soul came out, I didn't particularly care for it. And you know what it is that I didn't really care for was the sound, and not even the beat, but just, I don't know. I just felt like Beyonce wasn't giving her best vocal performance. It just felt kind of basic compared to what Beyonce usually does. The thing that made me like Break My Soul was the lyrics and the theme of the song. That's the only thing that made me like Break My Soul. But for the most part, I wasn't that into Break My Soul. And I even remember, but the crazy thing was I couldn't get it out of my head. And I remember being on FaceTime with Diamond one day and saying, Diamond, I don't really care for this new Beyonce song, but I can't get it out of my head. Yeah. That's how I should have known that fucking album was drugs.
On first listen, I was like, but then when I played to my car and I was driving to work, and I was like, okay, like this it was the mood when I put me in.
Yeah, when I heard Break My Soul, I'm not gonna hold y'all. The first thing I thought was, okay, this out, like, for me, I was just like, oh, she's just trying to make some quick money. Like, I was like, maybe this is probably her last. No, Quiet as a Cat. I was like, this is a very commercial song. That's what it gave me. I was like, it's commercial. This song fits in everywhere. It's like, I was just like, okay. Because her last few projects, we can't lie, have been very emotional and meaningful and all of that, right? So when I heard Break My Soul, I was like, maybe she just
went to the business aspect of it. She's trying to recoup the potential loss.
I was like, maybe she's just trying to recoup, or maybe she's just trying to get something out to her label. Maybe this is her last album with her label. I was like, it didn't feel like a passion project to me. I was just like, okay, Beyonce is just making music to get some obligations out of the way. That's what I initially thought. Still thought it was catchy. It was still a bop. But it didn't, at the time, it wasn't a song that I would add to a playlist. I look at it like, oh, I need this on a playlist, right? It didn't do that for me. And then the album came out, and then when I heard the transition into it, when I heard the first time I heard the transition into Break My Soul, I screamed and instantly fell in love with Break My Soul because it made sense. It made sense. Yeah. The transition into Break My Soul, the Break My Soul paired with the rest of the album, like she really set the tone. Like now that I look at it,
and I think she did that on purpose. I think Beyonce knew that we wouldn't really care for that song. And she wanted us to, by itself. I think she wanted us to experience it on the album the way it's meant to, but she purposefully separated it from the album to fucking set us up. First of all, I still believe in my heart of hearts that there's something different about Break My Soul. Like I feel like there's something that's added to that song when it's on the
So I've actually compared the two. I compared the single and then went on the album and listened to it. She overlaid some additional vocals on the album.
I knew it. Yeah, you cannot, because it sounds better on the album. I'm like, this song is way better on the album. Something is different. It can't just be that transition. I'm so glad you said it.
Break My Soul on the album makes me want to cry. Break My Soul, the single, I was just like, this is cute, this is catchy.
We're all connected to music here. All three of us are connected to music. So there's certain songs that just speak to your soul no matter how many times you listen to it. And Break My Soul did not do that at first. Now it does. When I listen to it on the album, it does. Yeah. Oh my God, that album.
So let me tell you how I reacted to the initial listen, right? Because for me, a part of, y'all know that I'm a social media person, right? A part of what makes Beyonce album releases so special to me is Black Twitter. Like, I love listening to the album with Black Twitter. It's the same thing for like show premieres and stuff like that. Like, I love that camaraderie and that experience. So I was downstairs talking to one of my best friends and my husband. We were standing in the kitchen having a conversation. Mid-conversation, I look at my phone and my phone said 9 o'clock.
Pause. Right? This is the first time I've ever heard you refer to your husband as your husband. You usually call him by name, and I think it's Beyonce. Carry on. Beyonce is the reason why you because I've never heard you say
you always say Steven. Ever. Yeah, you said my
always
husband
say
just
Steven.
We're gonna talk about why I've made that transition, right?
It's not my man.
It's not my man.
It's not my stand.
So we there downstairs, we listening to it, and I look at my phone and my phone down to 9. The benefit of living in Arizona, right? There aren't many, but the benefit is 9 o'clock is midnight every place else, okay? They don't play about a fuck. Midnight drops are at 9 o'clock. So it was early enough for me to where, I wasn't about to fall asleep. So I was like, okay. So I see 9 o'clock. I literally ran out of the kitchen mid-conversation, okay? Run out of the kitchen. Did not give a fuck what they were talking about. Literally turned around and left. And I get stairs in my house. The way I run up them stairs, right? Run in the room, close the door, and put on my AirPods and literally sat down to have an experience with this album, okay? And I had just get AirPod Pros.
Guys, I don't have no basic set of stairs. She have the stairs, the two. You gotta go up
with a landing
on the corner and go up again. The 2 tiers.
Listen,
2 tiers of stairs.
I run my big ass up them. I didn't even feel my foot them touch the ground. I levitated up the stairs. Okay,
I would never run up your stairs here, Isa. I would never run up those fucking stairs. They're so intense.
Went in the room, closed the door, and put on my ear. And I had just get AirPod Pros, so I knew I would gain the best fucking qualities. Sit in the bed, right? You would, I swear, I was listening to church. Okay, sit in the bed, put on the AirPod them, and start the album. I gonna be real with Ayo. I'm that girl. I did not appreciate it on first listen because. So hear me out. I'm That Girl has a weird sound to it to where when you first listen to it, for me, I couldn't understand the beat at first. And it took me another listen for me to be like, oh, that's what she doing. Because she don't experiment with our intro song. Like,
yes. So here's my relationship with music. When I listen to music, I instantly start seeing shit, right? Like visualizing it. I either visualize what I think the experience is, or I visualize like, wow, this is what I would make a video for this song sound like. When I heard that song, all I envisioned was Beyonce waking up one day, maybe seeing some bullshit said about her on the internet, and literally walking into her studio, pushing people out of the way, going into the booth and being like, just put something on. And just being like,
and just dragging
put up in these, like, that's what I envisioned.
Yeah.
And
eventually I could appreciate it, right? It took me a second listen, but at first one I was like, I don't know. But when Cozy fucking drop,
you saw my text in the group chat that first night.
Yeah.
When I heard Cozy, I was like, oh yeah, Beyonce, yeah, you letting the girls know, you letting the girls know.
Listen, and we gonna go like song by song, but what I will say about that first experience is that I wish that I could go back in time and experience them transitions for the first time over again. Just the transitions, just the effortlessness of like, wait, this a new song? and like looking at your phone like, oh fuck, this is a new song. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like I was having an out of body experience. And like you said, Deidre, Cuff It, is it Cuff It Energy Break My Soul?
The way Cuff It ends, I go straight into energy. It's fucking bananas. It wasn't until Break My Soul was on that I realized that the other two songs wasn't one song.
Yeah.
And halfway into Break My Soul is when I said, wait a minute, this is Break My Soul. Yeah. And then I said, but wait, what's the last song I listened to? I was so
I had to go and look at it. I was like, oh no, wait, I just listened to like 4 fucking songs. What just happened?
You know when you in the club and the DJ just going to fuck off, and then they drop a song that everybody love, and the whole crowd will be like, yeah, like everybody will start going off.
That's what happened when Break My Soul.
That's what happened when Break My Soul come on.
I was like, yes.
Because I was listening
and I think
to
that's
Energy.
The effect she wanted.
I was listening to Energy, and then I hear, I'm about to explode. I was like,
and then you go to fuck. This is Break My Soul.
I get, listen, I'm getting chills all now. Like,
listen, the water is running on my body. I swing open my shower curtain, and jump out because I said this can't be real. While my water is running, there's soap on my body. I'm soaking up my floor, and I literally went, open up my phone, and look at the album like,
did y'all have a moment? Because there were moments where like she would say some fuck and I would pause it and just stop and look at my phone
and be like, did Beyonce really
like,
just
this fucking
do this?
bitch.
Yeah, I had moments like that too. And you know when it was for me? You know when it's for me? When she was on Heated, dragging everybody in that rant. I literally said, wait. And then
Alien Superstar, because we kind of skip over that to talk about Cuff It Energy Break My Soul, but Alien Superstar was body
that was my song
experience.
It was so good. It was
Cuff It was my song, and then I heard Alien Superstar, and I just said, you know what? I don't have a song. I have the whole album.
I had like when people like say that this is their favorite song, I personally cannot choose a favorite. I've tried. It started out as Alien Superstar, then it was Cuff It, then I went through a period where it was very much Plastic Off the Sofa. As much like I'm too single for that song.
Did anybody go through a Pure Honey phase? Because I went through my Pure Honey phase.
I'm going through my Pure Honey phase right now.
I went through my Pure Honey phase. Then at one point I went through my Plastic Off the Sofa phase, and I was like, I just want like sit in my husband's skin right now. Like
Plastic Off the Sofa. Plastic Off the Sofa made me commit to adding a lover to my next vision board. Plastic Off the Sofa. I'm looking for me a boyfriend. When I get my boyfriend, I can't wait to start my first argument with he so we can have makeup sex to Plastic Off. I am committed to listen, future boyfriend, if you are listening, I'm here, baby. You like chocolate? What's up? I got hair now. You can pull my hair.
Yo, even though we obviously don't have a favorite because it's the album, if there was a gun to your head, which would it be? For me, it's Church Girl. Gun to my head is Church Girl.
I choose Death.
She said she chose Death.
Shoot me. I can't.
Is it bad
shoot
that
me.
I'm on the same page?
If I pick Pure Honey, that means I can't have Plastic Off the Sofa. If I pick Plastic Off the Sofa, that means I can't have Cuff It. If I pick Cuff It, that means I can't have Alien Superstar.
I know.
What about the days where I want to be, I try to get all up in your
all
mind.
up in your mind. It's the love crime that I'm really.
Or what happened when I want to be heard you got that deep for me.
Shoot me.
I'll make it go weak for me.
Shoot me.
I see you want it. Yeah, no.
Me,
you know, the thing is they always, you know what, in my defense, I like my child. So I have to choose a song, right?
Actually, and this is how I, I love to fucking psychologically manipulate people. I'm going to be like, you choose. What's your favorite song?
Yeah,
and then he going to have
that
to
bitch know they don't have a favorite. He going to have
exactly.
to he knows he don't even have a favorite.
You choose. You first.
And baby, the way Church Girl, like all these songs got me in a chokehold, right? But the way, like one day I was listening to Church Girl while I was getting ready for work. But my niece, like Jaja came home and was like, I can hear you singing along to Church Girl from up the block. I don't sing that song.
And Crystal's say it on the read when they had come back. By the way, thank you, Jesus, because we get Beyonce back and the read back in the same motherfucking summer.
It's been such a good summer. It's been such a good summer. I was praying
God
for
bless Kid Fury, okay?
I was praying for him so hard. I'm so happy to hear that he better.
I'm so happy to have them back because, like, y'all, your favorite podcast have a favorite podcast, I promise you. And if they don't, they should not be a favorite podcast. And it's
if your favorite podcaster doesn't have a favorite podcast,
That's
very side eye.
Because the way friend zone and the read, they'll be in my rotation. But anyway, so
big facts.
When Crystal said that so she specifically talked about the part where Beyonce said, nobody can judge me but me. I was born. That part,
the church girl has made me cry.
And that's the thing, because a lot of people expect it to, it's not even just about the church girls. That's a song for women, period.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all have that church girl in us, even if it's not a girl who's like a PK, even if it's not a girl who grew up in the church, every single woman has that version of themselves that they have to release, that version of themselves that's been like a fucking prisoner to whatever social construct they came up in, and then come to that point where they're like, bitch, fuck you, I was born free. The fuck?
But let's talk about what we've experienced in the past 2 years as a society, right? Not even just as individuals. Yeah. Well, as individuals and as a society. Like, the past 2 years has been fucking hard, emotionally and psychologically especially. So for this album, that song in particular, like, being able to listen to this album that's like, you know what? Fuck everything you're going through. Go dance. Like, go dance. Go move your body. Go dance. And then for that song in particular to be like, when I reach in this party, I going to fuck
go this body. Like, what the fuck?
Describes so perfectly, I think, what I've been wanting to feel, like the type of joy that I've been wanting to feel in my life. Beyonce packaged that and put it in a fucking album to the point where I get emotional. So I go switch this to somebody else because Beyonce was let me cry on this fucking podcast. To segue into
this. Yeah, because I'm literally very emotional thinking about this. But I'm I don't even mean to harp on like negative stuff, but I'm resentful of the people who keep referring to Beyonce and the way she releases music as her being a capitalist. And a lot of people are describing this album as escapism, and I think that's unfair. And the reason why is because you just brought up a very good point. Hey, I said the last 2 years, for one, has been scary as fuck. Okay, aside from the economic turn that our economy, like, that we've taken, right? 2 years ago we were all scared that our chance of death literally raised by 50%. You have a 50% chance of catching COVID, and there's a chance of death. And we don't know who's going to die from who's not, because they're saying that if you have underlying health conditions, you could die. But people who didn't have underlying health conditions were dying. So we were literally in a time where every fucking body was at risk for catching COVID. It was a pandemic. The whole world was at risk of catching COVID. Okay. And yeah, people were getting unemployment and stuff, but not everybody qualified. And some people were considered essential workers. That's the kind of fuck people were dealing with. And I think people kind of forgot that. And it's like, that album is not escapism, it's a release. Because when you go through something traumatic, you need to have an emotional release. And I don't think that really I don't think the collective of people has had a chance to truly have the release that we needed, because we kind of went right back into work, and we kind of went right back into trying to make things the way it used to be, and getting back to the norms. And it's like, things are never going to be the same. A lot of people experienced significant loss during this pandemic, and not even just the loss of like the lives of some of their family members, which that in of itself is bad, but some people's life literally changed as they know it. Even me, my whole fucking profession changed significantly.
Doesn't see coming out of the pandemic as a rebirth, as a renaissance, is weird. Because I'm sorry, I could speak personally for me as a creative entrepreneur, as somebody who's worked hard in regular world, my entire life changed. And I know it's literally because of the pandemic. Yeah, literally.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a total rebirth. And for people to say that it's escapism is weird to me. I'm like, what? Escapism?
I see it two ways. So escapism, because escapism for me, I see like when I read and shit like that, like I like to take myself to another place sometimes and take myself out of what's going on in my life. And sometimes Renaissance is that for me too. Like I want to focus on how good this music to make me feel and nothing else. But at the same time, it's also rebirth. It's also like, wow, this album is actually changing me as a person, and like it's a rebirth. But I want to address the capitalist part. The reality is, right, all of the people who we admire, who are celebrities, who are making millions of dollars, are capitalists. They have bought into capitalism in some way. That's the system we live in. That's not excusing Beyonce. because to be somebody with that much money, at some point somewhere down the line, somebody getting exploited, and that's the reality of what it is.
That's the reality of becoming a billionaire.
It's the reality of becoming a billionaire, and I'm not excusing it because I'm very much team eat the rich, but at the same time, when it comes to this album, I am able to enjoy this album and not need Beyonce to be a perfect holier than thou deity type person for me to enjoy it, right?
I think when people get triggered, it's like when Beyonce makes relatable music and then they remember that in real life they can't relate to her. And I'm just like, just because you and her are not in the same tax bracket, right, doesn't mean y'all still can't relate to each other, because like y'all realize that technically Beyonce has a 9-to-5. It may not be in the same structure that we have 9-to-5s, but at the end of the day, she still has work obligations for her record label.
And that's the thing. She has to make music. She has Ivy Park. She has jobs. Beyonce has multiple jobs.
She still has people she has to report to. So just because like she's not punching a time clock doesn't mean she's still not being driven crazy by the powers that be, the powers that are over her.
But even with that, right? Outside of that, do we really need Beyonce to have a 9-to-5 for Break My Soul to identify with Break My Soul, like, right? So here's the thing. Mary J. Blige been singing breakup music her whole motherfucking life. She wasn't always in a breakup when she was writing this music. Like, artists have not always been necessarily in the situation. Like, there are songwriters, people write songs on behalf of artists. It's not always from an artist's personal perspective, including this album. Beyonce have so much writing credits on this album, and y'all still think that she relates to every single lyric that's in Renaissance? Like, no. Maybe she didn't quit her 9-to-5, but maybe she wanted to make sure that her fans, because Beyonce cares about her fan base, she knows what the world experienced, and she experienced it in some way, maybe different, but she wanted to write an album about it. Like, who gives a fuck? Shake your ass, bitch. Like,
because the thing is the reality is if Beyonce only made music based on her personal day-to-day experience, we would be annoyed. Like, like me personally, I love hearing Beyonce pop her shit. But if she only made music from her experience, oh my God, I'm so rich. My husband cheated on me, but we're better now. And sometimes I'm insecure because I feel like maybe one day he might cheat on me again. Also, I'm still fucking wealthy. I don't know where I'm gonna take my yacht this week. We ain't gonna listen to that shit. Like, what the fuck? What do we want? Like, let that lady live. And
these are the same people. These are the same people who are coming out talking about, oh, I hope this album ain't no like pro-black, we marching, civil rights era type shit.
I chalked it up to two things. People don't just hate Beyonce regardless. We know that. Yeah, but true. The other thing, anybody who has a negative thing to say about this album entirely is just somebody who cannot choose joy. Because how do you listen to this album and not find the joy in it? Yeah, there's how a lot do you of find joy in anything bad to say about this album? Like, and even if you don't like the composition of the music, if you don't like what it sounds like sonically, if you're not into the sound, but to say that it's not a good album.
And the thing is this, bitch, you think it's small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big, bitch. You need to be thinking big, bitch.
Oh, that's my uncle in my head.
Bitch. I'm obsessed with him.
He's my uncle in my head. Like, you need to be thinking big. Like, this album is just so good. Oh my God.
Listen, there is a level of joy that I experienced from that album, and we're gonna have an episode coming up soon in this season where we talking about like choosing joy, right? But in going back to the pandemic, like, I went into the pandemic as an influencer, as somebody who had a passion for a certain level of things, and 2 years later I feel like that completely flipped on its head, right? Yeah. And I get to this point in my life where like everything that I'm doing is for the purpose of seeking joy, is for the purpose of enjoying my life and wanting to have fun. And like, I'm chasing more so a feeling than a type of accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
Renaissance was like the soundtrack to that for me. Like, when Renaissance came out, I was like, this album describes the type of feeling, the type of life that I want to live. So whenever I listen to it, that's the fucking energy I'd be on. I'd be like, oh my God, like, I just want frolic. Like, I want run in a field of flowers, bitch, or go to the club and shake my ass. Like, one of the two. I don't know.
Right, too. It's not commercial. It's not what I thought Break My Soul was. Listening to the album, it's not that. It's not commercial. It's not a capitalistic move. It's literally what she created during the pandemic, during those 2 years of struggle, strife, and fear. It was, you could tell she was on this journey of finding joy and putting it in music.
And let's talk about how she incorporated queer culture and ballroom culture and the LGBTQ plus community and trans women, specifically Black trans women, into this album.
Like, she's come so far and she's bringing people along with her, and she's like sharing in those opportunities. And I feel like she did the same thing with this album. She made sure to incorporate who's supposed to be there for the kind of music she just made.
Exactly. T.S. Madison is on maybe 30 seconds of background for Cozy when she'd be like, I'm dark skin, light skin, beige, fluorescent beige, bitch.
Beige.
I don't have a favorite song, but Cozy for me is the most impressive one, because for me, what Cozy means is like Beyonce loving herself. Because right now Beyonce is thick. Beyonce is a thickums, right? Beyonce's body changes. Beyonce, her image changes. Everything that's supposed to be the most valuable for her career as it relates to her outer appearance changes drastically. Beyonce is also aging. We have to remember that. Beyonce is aging, and you can tell she's not getting injected and all of that shit, right?
Yeah.
So she's probably reasoning with that as well. And Cozy, to me, is the anthem for Beyonce. Being comfortable with her body, with her changing face. Her vocals are probably changing too. Like, they've been changing. Her Beyonce from her first album to now, her voice is completely different.
She in her lower register a lot more now.
She's way more in her lower register. And so to me, that's what I think. If you notice the intro to the album, right, leading up to Break My Soul, it starts with her, the spoken word, hyping myself up. I'm that girl, right? Then it's Cozy, right? Hyping herself up Cozy feels like when you're getting ready and you're like not too sure, but you have to tell yourself like, girl, you got this. You fine as fuck. With that outfit. Okay, well now I like the outfit more because I got my makeup done. Okay, well now I like everything more because my hair is done, right?
Yeah.
And then Alien Superstar, where it's like, actually, I'm really that fucking girl.
Yes,
right? That's how those 3 songs is how she opened her album. You can't tell me those 3 songs were not an ode to her as a person and what she's experiencing as an aging Black woman in this industry.
Yeah.
And Cozy wasn't just Beyonce talking about herself and talking her own shit and being like, I'm comfortable in my skin. It was all Black women, but it was specifically
for all of us.
The LGBTQ plus community, because there's a part
absolutely
where she starts talking about colors, and at first you don't get it, but then you realize
the flag,
that she's describing the pride flag, specifically the pride flag that includes Black women or Black people and trans people on it.
Yes, I wish I could remember the name of it.
She had a Black trans woman in the background talking her shit.
For one, again, she is obviously including the entire LGBTQ community in that. And I feel like a lot of the songs that Beyonce, especially in this album, is leaning more into womanism as opposed to feminism, because womanism does include trans women. Womanism highlights all women, especially like women of color, marginalized women, and that includes trans women. You know what I mean? So I really feel like this is that, the album is just so good. Listen, most people gonna just hear a dance album, right? Most people gonna just hear a dance album, and that's cool for them. Other people are going to dissect the lyrics, right? And then other people are going to dissect all 3 together, the music, the lyrics, Beyonce, the person, because a lot of times people keep forgetting that. Yeah, so when you factor in all those ingredients, this album, baby, my God.
That's why, and that's why, like, everything that we're talking about now, the fact that we're able to sit here and make a 45-minute episode on just the album, just the audio of this album, no visuals, no additional, like, really no promo on her part besides, like, little album rollout here and there. Like, she straight up said when she released the album and she posted that letter on her Instagram, we gonna sit with this music and enjoy it for a while. Like, we gonna enjoy this music. And I feel like what she meant is, you gonna dissect the fuck out this album, you gonna listen to it, you gonna really get into it and appreciate this body of work before I give you any visuals. And me gonna lie, sis, it's been about a month and a month and a half. We waiting. Take your time. But also stop playing in my face though, because like at this point, Beyonce.
I'm not ready. Like, I got headaches daily because I'm like, any minute now she gonna just blow my mind. Like, what the fuck? I hope that she released Act 1 on off day so I could be at home because
I'm not prepared. But I mean, if we think about like what the reaction has been to just Act 1, to just the album, how people are having club parties, even in Tucson, and I was pissed because I was in Florida when it happened. People are having literal parties. So there's one thing that, you know, in regards to the album that we haven't spoken about because I only wanted to give it like 2 minutes of my time. But there was a bit of controversy when the album came out. There was like controversy here and there, but I think the biggest story was Kelis being upset and like everything that had happened and all of that. Do y'all feel like that overshadowed the album release at all? I feel like once Beyonce took the writing credit off, I feel like everybody was like, okay, well, and we move on.
Well, Beyonce has spoken. So for one, I don't think it took anything away from it. I thought it was just a joke, low key, the whole situation. I feel for Kelis, I understand what she has been through in the industry. Kelis legitimately responded to one of her fans' misinformation. They saw the track list. They saw that Kelis had a writing credit or a feature. I don't remember exactly how it was, but they saw Kelis's name on the album and they came on and speculated. The album hadn't even come out yet. And instead of Kelis doing some level of investigation, she didn't even know what fucking song she was sampled on. But I thought the whole thing was messy. I don't think it overshadowed the album at all. I think if anything, it was like fun promotion for the album, because what happened is it started certain conversations that a lot of people who were and weren't qualified to speak on ended up speaking on, right? And then Beyonce did what she does best, which is shut everybody the fuck up by simply removing it altogether.
She said, you ain't want a sample? Tech sample.
She said, oh, you don't want to be cool, because the reality is Kelis's name didn't even have to be on the album, considering what it was that was sampled.
If it was anybody else, you wouldn't have required all the shit that you require from Beyonce.
Phone call, bitch.
If it was anybody else, you wouldn't have been like, well, why didn't you call me and da 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 da. It's because it's Beyonce, right? And your anger with Pharrell and them, you're putting onto Beyonce. Yeah. Because Pharrell happened to be connected to it, you're putting on Beyonce, but you would not have had that reaction if it was anybody else in the industry. And that's why I personally couldn't rock with it. I was just like, girl, shut up.
She was doing a lot. It was embarrassing.
She was doing a lot. And for me, my beef with it was because like I could have patience if it was a vibe where Beyonce didn't give her credit. You expect her to call you to ask your permission or to give you a heads up that she's
honestly, truly Beyonce. First of all, I think that Beyonce extended a lot of grace to Kelis by even giving her a writing credit, because at the end of the day, as far as the music industry goes, as far as the legal side of things, like Pharrell and whoever else were the actual owners of the song. So they were the people who were supposed to get the writing credit and paid, if anything. Beyonce extending that and giving Kelis a writing credit when it wasn't even a sample. It was, they call it an interpolation of a beat in Milkshake. So it's a variance of the way that you sing this certain thing in the song. And the song, technically, as fucked up as it is, because Pharrell, it was who really deserved all the smoke for taking advantage of Kelis whenever he did and not having her owning her masters or whatever. Like, the villain here is Pharrell.
It's fucking Pharrell.
But the villain in the conversation became Beyonce. And even then, she had extended this grace to you and giving you a writing credit. And now you're on the internet talking shit. So when it first happened, y'all remember I was texting Ion. I was like, I don't know. Like, I get where Kelis coming from. But then she kept laying it on and laying it on and laying it on to the point where she was talking about Beyonce being like a devil worshiper and all types of shit. Yeah, and I'm like, so this is about how you really feel about Beyonce. This ain't about this fucking writing credit.
And that's when I stopped caring. That's when I was like, okay, girl, shut up. Shut up. You like showing me that you just don't like this woman.
You're disgruntled and you had some shit to say, and this was just your avenue to say it. This and you wanted to pop your shit.
Yeah, like, she saw it as an opening to drag Beyonce, and it just didn't. And that's the thing. Now you just look crazy, and now you get to be the person that everybody's calling as like the crazy shit starter. You know what I mean? Like.
And if that's what you want to be, that's cool.
And the thing is, I love Kelis. Like, you out there on your farm, you doing your wholesome chef shit. Like, I love her music. Like, I love Kelis, but I don't like mean people. And it was mean-spirited the way that she was saying shit.
Yeah, she was going too far. Just a lot of the language she was using. And then even like making it seem as though Beyonce has been copying her for her entire career. Girl, let me tell you one thing that motherfucking Leo women gonna do.
I have a theory, and this drama with Kelis is confirming it for me. Everybody who was, remember when Beyonce first went solo, was it 2003?
Yeah.
Everybody who was a female solo artist in 2003 hates Beyonce's guts because she became what they... She came out of a girl group where people hated her. I personally, when Beyonce was in Destiny's Child, I couldn't stand her because I was like, why are you always trying to take the shine from these women? What it really was she just naturally outshined them. I wasn't always a Beyonce stan. I used to hate watch Beyonce just to be like, yeah, she's so extra. But then I would watch a performance and be like, fuck, she's good, right?
And this is how I know that Eyes are Fire sign, because from the time she come out, like, finally, give my bitch her solo time. We love it. Like,
she went solo in 2003 when there was A. Marie, Kelis, the white pop girls. Just remember all the bitches who were solo at that time. And look at this, over a decade later, Beyonce's the pinnacle. They cannot stand her.
And knowing that you can't compare probably eats you alive.
I mean, that's the thing. I think a lot of these solo artists, for the most part, respect Beyonce's artistry and recognize her for who she is. Like, Beyonce is a celebrity of celebrities. Like, celebrities know that
celebrities
Beyonce,
go up
right?
for Beyonce, yeah.
But can you imagine 20 years later, you sitting in your house like, this fucking bitch destroyed my career?
You sitting there drinking tea and you got off the tape.
Like, you know, I don't know if y'all ever see that gif. There's a gif of a white woman staring out the window and she just, like,
I love that.
And she ripped down the fucking curtain. I feel like there are some people who literally look at Beyonce's career and they'll think about it and they'll just, like, spontaneously fucking combust. And bitch, I don't blame you, because look at the material. Like,
look at what she's come to. Like,
I just, things like this that make me think about, like...
But that's why it's easy to resort to her being a devil worshiper and her being evil because it must be the devil. No, bitch, she was destined for this shit.
Why can't it be God? Thought, like,
that part.
God.
Why can't she be touched by the Lord?
Why can't it be that?
So we know
she's so, like,
because she's not a man.
It's just the world we're living in. Because I could never understand how... What happened?
She's not a man.
Because she's not a man. And it's true.
Because she's not a man. And in Christianity, if you are exalted and talented and beyond everyone else and it's natural to you, in Christianity, as a man, you are anointed by God. As a woman, you're a witch. You are a devil worshiper. And it's the same thing that happening with Beyonce. Even if people aren't Christian, they view her talent and her, you know, being above everybody
ability
else
to be.
They view it as it being corrupt, and as in somebody had to have given this to her. There had to be some kind of sacrifice or corruption.
And they even tried to correlate it to her relationship to Jay-Z, and the reality is even Jay-Z acknowledges there's no way in hell I could ever. Like, bitch is Beyonce.
But that makes so much sense here, because I've never heard anybody say Michael Jackson worshiped the devil.
Nope.
Michael Jackson has always been given his flowers. People have always respected him. I've never heard a single person say he's a devil worshiper, Illuminati.
And don't get me wrong, there were with Michael Jackson, like, he had the rumors and all of that stuff related to, you know, child sexual assault and all that, you know, but it does have to do with her being a woman, right? Because at the end of the day, after Michael Jackson's passing, people were willing to acknowledge, you know, he was the greatest artist we had in our time and da-da-da-da. But there are some people looking at Beyonce's career even now who still refuse to give her that, when it's like, bitch, she delete her profile picture on Instagram and the fucking world stopped.
Yep.
The Queen of England died, and when they said the Queen died, people was like,
Beyonce?
Which queen? With all the shit that has happened this summer, for us to still be listening to Renaissance every day, Beyonce sprinkled crack in a fucking album. You understand me? Me and Diamond were on the phone the other day and just talking about specifically the experience between Summer Renaissance back over to I'm Not Girl, right? And how Summer Renaissance feels like when you're in the club and the music getting really, 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 really good, and you just like, wow, I could stay here all night. I drunk. Like,
yes, king.
First of all, let's just talk about Cuff It, right? Cuff
You
It,
think them
everybody
twins come from nothing?
Listen, everybody talking about Cuff It as like a fun party dance song. If you really listen
no,
to
that
Cuff
song
It,
is about fucking.
Cuff It is the nut in me anthem. Like Beyonce just singing like, hey, I want to go party, and then when we leave here, like I want you to shoot
We're
up the
fucking
club.
in the car.
Fucking in the club bathroom.
You
That's
can't
what
tell me
Cuff It-
Beyonce and Jay-Z don't be fucking in club bathrooms when they out together. Beyonce and Jay-Z are nasty.
She confirmed it in driver roll up the partition, please.
Beyonce
They
and
be
Jay-Z
fucking,
be fucking
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they be
She
fucking.
said, "Come on my
a lot.
face."
Yeah.
Beyonce, she's talking about having come on her face, and when she's saying, "Let me eat it, you a sweetie pie, come let me eat you," she ain't talking about eating her man ass. She eating somebody daughter coochie. Beyonce got some little young hot girlfriend. Beyonce is a lesbian. Beyonce is bisexual. Beyonce,
You homosexual.
I just love how at the beginning of the episode we were like, oh, the lyrics don't always have to be the artist's life, and now we like, yeah, that bitch will be fucking.
No, that bitch be eating coochie.
I want to talk about the fact that when I saw the track list for this album and I saw a song called America Has a Problem, right? I was like, we getting political.
No.
yeah.
And then
The
I
whole
hear
time.
America Has a Problem, and I said, dun 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 dun. I said, oh, the problem is you, bitch. Okay. Like,
Listeners, me and Diamond, when we call each other, one of us will randomly say, America has a problem. Like literally, Diamond will answer the phone and I would legit just go, America has a problem. And
my shit is, I don't be walking around the house, right? The house to be quiet, and you don't hear me say, unicorn is the uniform you put on.
Eyes on you when you perform.
Absolutely. Immediately, yes.
They have all of us looking like we have Tourette's.
We all look insane.
There's so many different song bites from the album, because sometimes it'll be fluorescent beige, bitch, I'm black. Sometimes it'll be, these motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Like,
Okay, you know, my problem in life is I could be answering a basic question, right? And if it's a yes or no question, I'd say no.
No.
Instead of just saying no, I'd be like, no.
it's the fact that that's the lyric I don't remember first from the song. Like, I'll be listening to it and I dancing, right? Me singing no other part of the song, you know, just what she said, no. That's my shit. That's my
Y'all
shit.
saw the tweet where
Virgo's
somebody
groove
said
is
that
my shit.
Virgo's groove is so. She talking about her pussy in that song, but
yeah.
that album is so good. That song is so good. Boy, you can't get no higher. Yo.
Listen, I just vocally, there's so much that we could talk about this album. Vocally, like, as much as it's a dance album, Beyonce was in that studio like, I gonna show these bitches how to sing.
Beyonce,
Not only
can't-
are
let me
you
tell
gonna
you something.
dance, bitch, you gonna sing. So
That's about it.
what are y'all's predictions for Act 2 and Act 3? Because I'm seeing many different
I'm done wasting my time. I've changed I'm done wasting my time. I tried to do the predictions. Beyonce keeps proving to us that predictions will never be a thing that can ever be done for her.
I actually don't want the tour to be part of Act 2 or 3. I would like for one of the acts to be like, you know, like how Coachella was, how the Netflix special for Coachella was, where it was that
That would be so good. Yeah.
watching behind the scenes and the performance. I would like to see one of them be like an amalgamation of behind the scenes and then the music video.
But you know what? That's really good because she also has two more obligations for Netflix. So
Right.
Act 2 or 3 might very well be something like that for real.
Because she took us back into this old school way of receiving new music.
Yeah.
That I want to go back into that old school way of, hey, now that you've got the music, now that you enjoy it,
Come see the behind the scenes. Yeah. I used to live for that.
So here's my question for Ayo. Beyonce, a long time ago, I can't find this interview. I remember seeing it. I know me and Crazy at one point said that she does not foresee herself doing music forever after she gets married and has her children. Life could change. She was young when she said this. She did not have Blue Ivy when she said this. So she could have changed her mind. But a lot of people saying like Renaissance might be it. Do you see that happening for Beyonce, or do you think she gonna give us more?
No, I felt it. What I was listening to, and I told Diamond this, I was listening to the album and I got emotional. I said, Diamond, I think this might be Beyonce's last album. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like Beyonce probably, I won't be surprised. Like, is that what I expect or want? Absolutely not. But I won't be surprised if by the end of Act 3, she makes it clear that this is the last album that she's releasing to us. I think she's going to focus more on developing other artists after this. I think she's going to focus more for...
What solidified that for me was at the end of Summer Renaissance when she was saying round of applause. I feel like that was her giving her like herself a standing ovation for her career.
For her career, yeah. I think she's gonna announce her retirement by the end of something. I don't think she's gonna. I think this is her last album. I'll be honest. I mean, like mourning the fact.
On one end, I could see that. And then on the other end, Renaissance literally means rebirth.
This rebirth is her no longer releasing albums, at least in my opinion, and shifting into creating these kinds of bodies of art where it's more so like a movie that revolves around the music kind of. And I won't be surprised if she probably just transitions into documentaries or something altogether. Like, I feel like this rebirth is a rebirth into something completely different from like just albums with music.
Whatever she chooses to do, I here for it. After Renaissance, at this point in her career, I've just come to realize that Beyonce has given me 9 albums. Everybody keeps saying 7. Mm-hmm. It's fucking 9. Put some respect on the live album and Lion King the Gift. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So she's given me 9 albums. I have not had a problem with a single fucking one at this point.
That part.
She's given me multiple tours, multiple live performances, multiple documentaries. Like, Beyonce has given me a lifetime of just like shit to appreciate about her. And if at this point she wants to transition out and shift her career in a different way or be done, I'm gonna be sad. I am going to be sad.
It's gonna be sad as fuck.
But I gonna be okay because I could say to my children, like, I was up the night she dropped self-titled on Twitter. I was up. I was there when Renaissance dropped. I was there when Lemonade dropped. Like, I was there for all of it. I grew up with this woman from 2003. I was 10 years old when she went solo. Yep. I am turning 30. And for her to drop Renaissance the year, my last year of my 20s, like, her discography for me is a reflection of like my life. So when people be like, oh, you Beehive, you this, you that. Yes, bitch.
Yeah, yes. I was, and it's so funny you said that. I was literally gonna say a lot. We grew up with Beyonce. We grew up listening to Beyonce. We all have our own personal journeys with Beyonce as an artist. You know what I mean? We grew up with her. Her music has influenced a lot of us in so many different ways. Like, if that lady want to retire, we're going to mind our business and let that lady retire. Yeah. Like, what we going to do?
But I really think if Beyonce is retaring, if she's ending her musical career, I really think what she's doing is making room for for Chloe to be that girl, because Chloe has the drive that Beyonce has. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of debate of, who's the next coming? Is it Doja Cat? Doja Cat has the potential, but Doja Cat don't want it. She don't want it like that. Yeah. Doja Cat just naturally has that talent. Doja Cat is very talented. Doja Cat has all the ingredients to be the next big pop star, but she does not want it. She does not have that drive. But Chloe Bailey, baby.
And you know Chloe Bailey. When I did the thread on Twitter for Beyonce's birthday, I went back and I looked at not her first performance of Crazy in Love. She did Crazy in Love, I think, at like the MTV Movie Awards, like right after, or Music Awards. Mm-hmm. And watching her perform Crazy in Love, like, she killed it, obviously, but there was so much about her that was so like aggressive and like over the top and extra, even with a dance.
That's exactly
and I was like, watch Chloe
right now.
Watch Chloe.
Yeah, and that's literally it.
Beyonce was dragging herself across the floor on her feet when she performed Deja Vu on BET. And at the time, people were like, what's she doing? But now people look back, because looking at that thread, when there was a question on the thread that said, what live performance from Beyonce made you realize she was top 2 and not number 2? And everybody was talking about that BET performance. Same thing with Chloe. Chloe is going to get 10 years into her career, and people going to look back at our recent performance of Treat Me and Surprise and be like, that's when I knew, like, she was that bitch.
Because it's true. I used to find Beyonce's performances to be a lot, but it was Deja Vu that made me say, oh, this bitch is bad as hell. That's what made me take that turn into when just accepting.
Flinging dust and doing all kind of shit. She looked like a little ostrich. Like, she was going off. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna ask an impossible question. We're gonna wrap this up with our top 3 from Renaissance. Okay.
We just said we're not doing
listen
that.
to me. Listen to me. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to argue why. Right now, in this very moment, and we accept that this can change. Don't look at me later.
Not can. It will change. I need the people to understand this will change. It will continue to change. And that's the purpose of the album.
Today, in this moment in time, we're going to go around the circle. All you're going to do is give me your top 3. You ain't going to explain it. You ain't going to argue. You ain't going to say because of this. You're going to just say this song,
the 3 songs.
This song.
Okay, period. I like that. Okay.
Diamond, stop looking at me later.
I gonna go first because I already have.
Okay.
Cozy. Y'all know it's cool. Y'all know Cozy is in the top 3 for sure. Alien Superstar and America Has a Problem.
Okay.
Fucks with that.
America Has a Problem is definitely in my top 3.
It's funny because America Has a Problem is also in my top 3.
It would be because I was the problem.
Y'all need to be following the twin page because don't even. That's all I'm gonna say. So let me go ahead and list my top 3. Okay, y'all already know Church Girl. Okay, America Has a Problem and Cuff It. Those 3 songs have me in a chokehold right now.
Okay. Fuck. Why I asked this question?
Who said you?
It's always going.
This is that moment where you tell the shooter, you go. You first.
Okay. Pure honey. Cuff It. Fuck. Pure honey, Cuff It, Alien Superstar.
Love that.
You know what I love about our top 3 though? What? Is that they were so reflective of our personalities. Like y'all both had America Has a Problem, but your number 1 I feel was very like Pure honey, bad bitches to the left, money bitches to the right. You could be both. Meet in the middle. Dance all night.
Dance all night.
The part in that song that I identify with the most is when she just said it should cost $1 million to look this good, but she make it look easy because she got it. Every time I don't get dressed now and I don't beat my face, I'd be like, it should cost $1 billion to look this fucking good.
And should and do. Yeah.
And talk about the runs in plastic off the sofa and how bitches on TikTok about to lose their lung capacity trying to sing it the way Beyonce been singing it.
Beyonce.
We haven't talked about the last 30 seconds of Virgo's Groove when she ascended to the fucking ancestral plane with them runs. We haven't talked about Thick when she said he thought he was doing it good. I told him go harder.
Go harder.
She thought she was killing that shit. I tell she go harder.
Like, go harder.
She was talking about Chloe. I'm telling you. She thought she was killing that shit. I told her go harder, baby, because I'm about to pass the torch, and you better be with it, or else I'm gonna just have Blue come out early. What's up?
We never addressed the gray sweatpants and the cash being the motivator, but okay.
Oh, when she said it must be the cash because it ain't Johnny.
No, do it, baby. Stick it, baby.
The part that made me laugh about that song is the minute people hear it. They
went straight to her husband. That was so
they were like, oh, maybe she just singing in general. They said Jay-Z, it must be the cash singing your fucking face. And I was like, oh my God.
They went straight to that lady marriage.
He's in a hypergamous marriage because he is the billionaire. It's not her.
I about to use this album to talk so much shit on this podcast for this whole season. So if you thinking to yourself, good, they get Renaissance out the way, they talk about Beyonce, they get it out of their system and we can move on for the rest of the season. Please know, every intro for this whole season gonna probably be a Beyonce lyric.
Monday I'm overrated, Tuesday on my dick.
Yeah, Monday I'm overrated, Tuesday on my dick. Flippy flip-flopping ass bitch. Like, everything.
Fine. Liberated, living like you ain't got time.
Face card never declines.
Okay.
I'm so grateful for this album release, for what she has given us in this body of work, but I'm also stressed because on one end, the aftermath to this is either she gonna retire or she gonna surpass herself. And every time she releases something like this, I ask myself, how much more physically, how much more can I take? Like, I can't, Beyonce, I can't take too much more. So if there's a level you can go to after this, I need to know how you passing out these stimulus payments for therapy.
Yeah, because I feel parts of my soul being extracted every time Beyonce. I'm like, how was? And then you have you reach a certain level of like emotional response where you're like, I didn't know that I could react to something in this way, and Beyonce is sucking the soul out of. Maybe Kelis was right because I don't understand. I don't have much more in my body.
Maybe Kelis was right, bitch. She talking about y'all.
We should name the episode that.
Kelis was right.
Kelis was right.
Maybe Kelis was right because I feel my soul like losing potency every time.
It's just. I don't even have the words. And I usually have a very good way of like summarizing or explaining things. It's hard for me to even end this episode because I just want I want to write a nicely like calligraphied letter that says bitch with just a question mark and mail it to Beyonce because bitch what am I supposed to do?
It's really a scale of 1 to 1 because she's one of one. She's the only one.
And
don't even waste your time trying to compete with her.
And no one else in this world can think like her. She's twisted, bitch.
Twisted. She'll contradict it, and she has.
Keep him addicted.
She
lies on his lips. She
licks them.
Unique. All right, man. Audience, thank you so much for being here with us through the shenanigans, and welcome back to the Good Up motherfucking podcast for season 8. This is going to be an amazing fucking season. I'm so excited. We have like so much good planned for Ayo. Like I was showing Deidre the notes the other day, and Deidre gave me her stamp of approval for what we have planned this season. So just be prepared, be prepared to laugh, be prepared to talk absolute shit, be prepared for the possibility that you might have to call your therapist back and tell her, hey, we need to resume sessions because this podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
This gonna be saying from last season, that episode y'all did about grief and death and all of that. I was bawling. It was too much. I'm not fooling with y'all this season. I'm not.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
We coming. We are coming, honey. We got things to talk about.
Okay.
We got things to talk about. And we're talking about them. All right. It's a non-negotiable. Prepare yourself.
Period.
All right. You know where to find us. All social media platforms at Good Up Pod. If you want to help us keep the lights on in this bitch and join our Good Up VIP community on Facebook and on Patreon, it's patreon.com/gooduppod. We love our bad. Use hashtag Good Up Tuesday because the Tuesday ain't good up unless me and Deidre and Diamond ain't a fuck. So,
and that's on period.
Use the hashtag period. America has a problem and it's good up, bitch. Deidre, tell the people then bye.
Bye.
Good Up is hosted and produced by Deidre Ritter and Hey Isaac Quinones Ivory. Find us on all social media platforms at Good Up Pod. Use hashtag Good Up Tuesday to continue the conversation and get access to exclusive bonus content at patreon.com/gooduppodcast.